Look, this is a big deal. What we did here is, it's the very first multi-physics survey in this area in the Western Athabasca Basin. It's been used with success by other big players on the eastern side. But what sets this apart for us is, using three different types of geophysics at once.
All right, welcome back inside our proactive newsroom. Joining me now is Sean Hilliker. He's the Vice President of Exploration for Standard Uranium. And Sean, it's good to see you again. How are you?
Doing really well, Steve. Exciting news here.
Yeah, that's right. We've been talking about all the work you've been doing on projects you're hoping to spin out, and here you've got a project, of course, that's your flagship Davidson River, and you've done some pretty cool work. In fact, first time you've used some of the, I guess, technology on certain parts of Davidson River.
Yeah, that's right, Steve. Like, look, this is a big deal. What we did here is, it's the very first multi-physics survey in this area in the Western Athabasca Basin. It's been used with success by other big players on the eastern side. But what sets this apart for us is, using three different types of geophysics at once. That's why we call it multi-physics. So we did ANT, HVSR, and ground gravity. And what this unlocks for us at Davidson River is very meaningful and from a geoscience and targeting perspective. So this really could be the silver bullet we need to get into a big discovery this year at Davidson River.
Yeah, let's talk about some of the things that you're using, this exosphere and the noise tomography. I mean, there's a lot of different things here. So maybe sort of put it in perspective so people understand the process how you would use all three.
Yeah, so exploration companies do geophysical surveys all the time, right? We always put out news releases about, hey, we did this survey, we did that survey. But like I said, this is a really big deal, and we're really proud to be the first ones to implement this type of survey in the Southwest Basin. So obviously, some of the best discoveries that have been made recently are in this area, and that's what we're looking for here at Davidson River. So the difference for this is, without getting too technical, it's allowing us to image the subsurface and model these faults and these structures, the plumbing system for the uranium, but also showing us where the alteration associated with uranium might be. That's the kicker here, is that's what we haven't had so far in our targeting toolbox. That's what this survey unlocks for us. And looking at the results, I'm very excited to get back there and drill this year. It's looking really good.
And so you were able to identify some areas that you want to look at this summer, Warrior, Bronco, Thunderbird, just to name some. So it really you always talk about de-risking, and you don't always know until you actually go into the ground. I get that, but it gives you some confidence about these targets that you've identified.
Absolutely, that's just it, right? The drill bit is the truth machine. You never really know until you get out there and put a hole into it. But look, it's, bringing this to the table and being the ones to do this, we were, like I said, very excited to be the ones to give this a try in this area to kind of see if it works. Fleet Space really has been a great partner and actually came in for equity, so they believed in this as much as we did. And what we're seeing is very exciting. So, like you said, we did three different grids across three of the four main conductors on Davidson River, being Warrior, Bronco, and Thunderbird. 300 ANT stations, 300 HVSR stations, and 3,000 gravity stations. So we've got a really high resolution model now for each of
Mhm.
these three areas. And, we picked these areas based on our best drilling results to date. So we've been hitting all the rock types we want to see, some elevated uranium, really good looking structures. But the key was, where are these big alteration halos, that arrow style target that we're looking for. So that's really what this survey brings to the table. And I can't share too much right now. We will put more news out as we develop our targets and implement these models together. So that's coming down the pipe. So stay tuned for that. But like I said, I'm really excited with what I'm seeing. The way this data maps those faults in the basement and gives us these density lows could really be, here's that arrow target that we're looking for. So
All right, interesting. Well, we'll have to wait to hear more about it. Sean, thanks so much. Really interesting stuff. Good to see you as well.
likewise, Steve, thanks for having me, and we'll talk soon.
All right, Sean Hilliker, the Vice President of Exploration for Standard Uranium.